It's a stinky situation that's gone from bad to worse. Residents in Richbucto, New Brunswick, they're fuming after a judge dismissed their injunction request to shut down a plant that they say emits an unbearable stench. So the plant heats up old crab and lobster shells, but a judge refused to shut it down because it also produces fertilizer, which qualifies it as an agricultural operation. And when we spoke with our next guest back in May, she described how the plant's smell is negatively affecting every aspect of life in this community. Maisie McNaughton is leader of the Stop the Stink campaign, and she is joining us this morning. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
As a reminder to people who may not have seen our conversation in May, can you describe for us what the stench is like, what it's like to live in, what it smells like?
The stench is something that it's just kind of undescribable. It burns your eyes, your nose, your throat when you smell it. And it's like rotten lobster shells mixed with burning wires. It just makes it so we're absolutely unable to go outside at all when it's operating and if the wind is blowing in your direction.
So you had this injunction request to shut it down. The judge has denied it. How are you feeling about that? And what's the community's reaction?
Well, the unfortunate reality is that Coastal Shell Products, at the 11th hour of this injunction, decided that they were going to declare themselves to be a farm. But the thing is, there is no growth production in this facility. All they are doing is they are taking a product and they are breaking it down. And they're not even producing fertilizer on site. They're actually just using one component that is then used in fertilizer. So I understand why the owners are doing it, but in no uncertain terms are they a farm. They are just not a farm. They're not an agricultural facility. So it seems to be just yet another delay tactic that has been thrown at us, but we just don't stop.
I know that they had sent out investigators, not the company, but they'd sent investigators to kind of get a sense of what this smell was like, what the experience is like for people in the community. But how did the plant respond when the inspectors were there?
Well, the thing is, the inspectors that have been sent by the Department of Environment of New Brunswick only go when the plant is not in operation. They're only trying to detect smells, which they do by literally smelling with their nose, around the facility when it's not operating. So we've never had an inspector go on site and say, wow, this is really, really bad, these poor people. And that just seems to be really representative of what the government of New Brunswick is doing to us right now. They just don't seem to see that this is not a normal way to live. Our quality of life is completely impacted, or it's not. Maybe it's not that they can't see; they won't see. So the inspector is coming on site and only doing it when it's not in operation. To me, that's just unacceptable. And I wish, Anne-Marie, that I could say that things were better since I spoke to you in May, but there has been not one improvement to the technology, not one since we spoke. So it makes us wonder, where does our government's priorities lie? The Higgs government seems to really value money over human lives, and that is, our community is not alone in this fight. There's a lot of communities in New Brunswick that are struggling right now, and it's really, really sad because we're just fighting to breathe clean air in 2023, and we will continue to fight in 2024.
The government of New Brunswick recently gave approval to this plant to operate until next August, contingent on the plant installing what they've described as a odor-controlling technology. The plant also wanted to extend its operations to start running 24 hours a day. So is that still going to happen?
The plant still intends to start running 24 hours a day, noon Monday until noon Sunday. But in this newest approval to operate, which was granted until August 31st, 2024, which is still just mind-boggling. I don't understand how it got extended for that long this time. But there are still restrictive hours. But yes, once this new technology is installed, it's supposed to be just business as usual, and we have to deal with it. Now, I was able to acquire a confidential document from the Department of Environment, which was an advice to the Minister Gary Crossman, which stated that after this technology is installed, there's nothing more they can do for us. So they're basically throwing their hands in the air and saying, well, these people just have to live like this. And I just don't understand why. I don't understand why my community is being subjected to this, has been subjected to this, is going to be subjected to this. I don't understand the motivation behind it, and it's really heartbreaking.
Maisie Ray, I wish we had a better update to connect about, but I'm glad that you're keeping us abreast of what's happening there in your community. Thanks so much for coming back.
Yeah, well, Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.